Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vṛndāvaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So here we are in the 17th chapter of the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrta, and the Lord is traveling finally to Vṛndāvana. So from first chapter he has been trying, and seems that in today's session, finally in the 17th chapter, Supreme Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu would enter Vṛndāvana. So here we have completed till verse number 104. So we were in this section 82 to 146. Lord Chaitanya stays at Varanasi. So in the last section we saw that how Chaitanya Mahāprabhu has reached Varanasi, and there he found his two devotees, and because they requested Mahāprabhu to please stay for 10 days, Mahāprabhu extended, or rather it was an unplanned stay. Mahāprabhu was just passing through Varanasi and Mahāprabhu did not want to stay there, but because of his devotees Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar's request, Mahāprabhu changes his mind and he stays there for additional 10 days. And there was this Brahmana who visited, who saw Mahāprabhu, and he was very, very fascinated and impressed by Mahāprabhu like everyone else. So that we have completed, and let's continue with from where we left. Ek vipra dekhi aila prabhur vyavhara Prakashanandage kahe charitra tahara. A Brahmana who saw the wonderful behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahāprabhu came to Prakashananda Saraswati and described the Lord's characteristics. So we know that Prakashananda Saraswati is an impersonalist, is a Mayavadi sannyasi, and this Brahmana who was very fascinated by the wonderful behavior of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he has seen Mahaprabhu, and now he's in front of Prakashananda Saraswati, and he starts describing Lord's characteristics to him. एक सन्यासी आइला जगन्नाथ होइते, ताहार महिमा प्रताप ना पारिवर्णिते. There is a sannyasi who has come from Jagannath Puri, and I cannot describe his wonderful influence and glories. So that is how he begins, the Brahmana begins talking about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Prakashananda Saraswati. Sakala dekhiya tate adbhut kathana, prakanda sharir shuddha kanchana varana. Everything is adbhut or wonderful about that sannyasi. He has very well built and luxuriant body, and his complexion is like kanchana varana. So kanchan is gold, so he is like pure gold, no amalgamation, no mixture, pure gold. Ajanu lambita bhuja kamal nayana, yata kichu ishwarera sarva sallakshana. He has arms that extend to his knees, and his eyes are like the petals of a lotus. In his person are all the transcendental symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Brahmana, just by having darshan, and he could feel that this is non-different from the Supreme Lord himself. Taha dekhi jnana haya ei narayana, ye tanre dekhe kare Krishna sankirtana. When one sees all these features, one takes him to be Narayan himself. Ei Narayan, just by taha dekhi, whoever sees him, he gets this impression that this person is Lord Narayan himself. Whoever sees him immediately begins to chant the holy name of Krishna. Mahabhagavat lakshan shuni bhagavate, se sab lakshana prakar dekhiye tahate. We have heard about the symptoms of a first-class devotee in Srimad Bhagavatam, and all those symptoms are manifest in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now this is a bewildering combination that the same person, he almost resembles Narayan, so all his bodily features and the way he conducts himself, whoever sees believes that he is Narayan. And then he has also all the symptoms of the first class devotee. So we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and he has come as a devotee to establish the bhakti principles in this age of Kali Yuga. So actually, Lord, who can be a better devotee? If Lord plays the part of a devotee, who can be a better devotee than Lord himself? So that is why it says that symptoms of a first class devotee. Nirantar Krishna Nama Jivatan Ragaya, Dui Netre Ashru Vahe Gangadhar Praya. His tongue is always chanting the holy name of Krishna, and from his eyes tears incessantly fall like the flowing Ganges. So why are the tears falling? These tears are the tears of separation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he's in mood of Srimati Radharani, he's constantly feeling that separation from his Supreme Lord, and that is why the tears incessantly flow from him. And because he's the devotee, or he has come to establish the Yuga Dharma, that is why he's continuously chanting the holy names of Krishna. Kshane nache hase gaya karaye krandana, Kshanay hunkar kore simhera garjana. Kshane, so sometimes, at some moments, what he does? Nache, hase, gaye, karay, krandan. So he dances, he laughs, he sings, and krandan, sometimes he cries. And kshane hunkar kare, so he roars like a lion sometimes. So that is how he is exhibiting these symptoms of ecstasy, where sometimes Mahaprabhu is dancing and no one can understand why he is dancing. Sometimes he suddenly starts laughing, and again nobody knows why he is laughing. So all these things he is manifesting simultaneously. Jagat Mangal Tanra Krishna Chaitanya Nama Nama Rupa Guna Tanra Sab Anupama. His name, Krishna Chaitanya, is all auspicious for the world. Everything about him, his name, form and qualities is unparalleled. Dekhile se jani tanra Ishwarera riti, alaukik katha shuni ke kore pratiti. Simply by seeing him, one understands that he possesses all the characteristics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such characteristics are certainly uncommon. Who will believe it? So this Brahman, he was so enamored, so completely captivated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood and his beauty that he's repeatedly describing that how he is possessing all the characteristics of Supreme Lord. Shuniya prakasha nanda bahut hashila, vipre upahas kori kohite lagila. So now here we see the reaction of Prakashananda Saraswati. So though he was a spiritualist, a so-called spiritualist, he was a Mayavadi. And when he hears all this, what he is doing is he starts criticizing Lord Chaitanya. So he begins with laughing very hard. So he laughed very much to hear this description. Joking and laughing at the Brahmana, he began to speak as follows. Shuniyachi Gauda Desher Sanyasi Babuka Keshav Bharti Shishya Lok Prataraka. Yes, I have heard about him. He is a sannyasi from Bengal. He is very sentimental. I have also heard that he belongs to the Bharati Sampradaya, for he is disciple of Keshav Bharati. However, he is only a pretender. So now he is calling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as bhavuk or sentimental. Now, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bhavuk? So these bhavuk or this sentimentalism, what he was exhibiting, it is actually transcendental bhav, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always constantly at the bhava stage. So that is why he was exhibiting all these symptoms, and Mayavadis cannot understand these transcendental symptoms of a devotee. So when such symptoms are manifested by the devotee, genuine transcendental symptoms, Mayavadis equate them with temporary emotional feelings. So actually, we read here that Prakashananda Saraswati's statement is very offensive, and hence Srila Prabhupada says that he should be put in the category of a pakhandi, not of a devotee, because his statements are very, very offensive. Chaitanya Nama Tanra Bhav Ganalana Deshe Deshe Grame Grame Bhule Nachana. I know that his name is Chaitanya and that he is accompanied by many sentimentalists. His followers dance with him and he tours from country to country and village to village. So though Prakashananda Saraswati was being offensive, but then he was also aware of the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the sense that he knew Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he knew that where he has taken sannyas from, he knew what he does. So like he is telling that I know that he and his followers, they keep dancing and roaming from one village to another, from one country to another. Ye tanre dekhe se Ishwar kari kahe, aiche mohana vidaya, ye dekhe se mohe. Whoever sees him, accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, since he has some mystic power by which he hypnotizes people. Everyone who sees him becomes illusioned. So actually, no wonder that Prakashananda Saraswati, though he was seeing that various people, just by meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or having his darshan, they were becoming devotees. What he's seeing there, or what his perception is, that he has some mystic siddhi by which he is hypnotizing people. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is no god, but it is basically his mystic power, his siddhis, because of which he is able to captivate people's mind, and then people start behaving like him. So no wonder. Why did I say no wonder? Is because when Supreme Lord Krishna was also here, so there were people like Shishupal, there were people like Kamsa who completely said that, would not believe that he is Supreme Lord. What to talk of them? Even Duryodhan did not believe. Dhritarashtra did not believe. So there are so many, they did not believe that he is Supreme Lord. And here in this form, Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is exhibiting his wonderful devotional ecstasies. And yet Prakashananda Saraswati, what he is saying, that he is having some mystic siddhis. So that is why these Mayavadis, they cannot attain or understand the Supreme Lord. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Pandit Prabala Shuni Chaitanyera Sange Hoila Pagala. So Prakashananda knew this part also, that Sarvabhauma, who was a very learned scholar, but I have heard that he has also become a madman due to his association with this Chaitanya. So in the opening chapters of this Madhya Leela, we saw that how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, to him Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sort of defeated in debate. So there was these 7 days continuously he was giving discourse on Vedanta Sutra, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually refuted, and he said that I do not understand your commentary, and then he explained him, and that is how he became a devotee. But here Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, according to Prakashananda, was actually under the influence of the mystic power of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is why he has become like a madman. Sannyasi Nam Matra Maha Indra Jali Kashi Pure Navi Kabe Tanra Bhava Kali. This Chaitanya is a sannyasi in name only. Actually, he is a first-class magician. In any case, his sentimentalism cannot be very much in demand here in Kashi. Vedanta Shravana Kara Nayaya Tan Pasha Uchrinkala Loka Sange Dui Loka Nasha. Do not go to see Chaitanya. Just continue hearing Vedanta. If you associate with upstarts, you will be lost in this world and in the next. So like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, Mayavadi bhashya shunila hai sarvanash. Now here the Mayavadi is talking the opposite thing. He is telling, do not go to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise you will be lost. Not only now, but even the next birth. Ita shuni se vipra mahadukha paila Krishna Krishna kahi tatha haite uthi gela. When the Brahmana heard Prakashananda Saraswati speak like this about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became very much grief-stricken. Chanting the holy name of Krishna, he immediately left. Prabhura darshane shuddha hana chetan mana Prabhu age dukhi hana kahe vivarana. The mind of the Brahmana was already purified by his seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He therefore went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and described what had taken place before the Mayavadi sannyasi Prakashananda. So Brahmana had absolute faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though he just met him and had his darshan, yet he had faith in him, and he did not take whatever Prakashananda Saraswati said seriously, and he goes back and he describes Mahaprabhu. Shuni Mahaprabhu tobe ishat hasila punarapi sei vipra prabhure puchila. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mildly smiled. The Brahmana then spoke again to the Lord. As soon as I uttered your name before him, he immediately confirmed the fact that he knew your name. Tomar dosha kahite kare na mero chara Chaitanya Chaitanya kori kahe teen bara. While finding fault with you, he uttered your name 3 times, saying Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Chaitanya. So the devotees of the Lord are also amazing. So they are not seeing that how he has insulted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is seeing how many times he has actually chanted the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Teen bare Krishna nama naila tara mukhe avagyate naam laya shuni pai dukhe. Although he spoke your name 3 times, he did not utter the name Krishna. Because he uttered your name in contempt, I was very much aggrieved. Ihar karan more kah krupa kari, Toma dekhi mukh mora bole Krishna Hari. Why could Prakashananda not utter the names Krishna and Hari? He chanted the name Chaitanya thrice. As far as I am concerned, simply by seeing you, I am moved to chant the holy names Krishna and Hari. So the Brahmana was very disturbed that though he could chant your name thrice, this Prakashananda could not chant the names of Krishna and Hari. Prabhu kahe Mayavadi, Krishna aparadhi, Brahma Atma Chaitanya kahe Niravadhi. The Mayavadi impersonalists are great offenders unto Lord Krishna. Therefore, they simply utter the words Brahma, Atma and Chaitanya. So Lord is actually explaining why Mayavadis cannot chant, or they find it so difficult to chant the name of Krishna. So because they are Krishna aparadhi, Mayavadi, Krishna aparadhi, they are offenders unto the Lord Krishna. Why are they offender, or what is their offense? They do not believe that Krishna has a form. So they offend Krishna, and because they offend Krishna, that is why they cannot chant the name of Krishna. Ateva tara mukhe na aise Krishna ma, Krishna nama Krishna swarup duita samana. Because they are offenders unto Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is identical with his holy name, the holy name Krishna does not manifest in their mouths. So this is the reason. Nama vigrah swarup tina ek rupa, tine bheda nahi tina chidananda rupa. The Lord's holy name, his form and his personality are all one and the same. There is no difference between them. Since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendentally blissful. So there is no difference between Lord's name, his form and his personality. Nam, Vigrah and Swarup, Teen Ek Roop. They are the same. They are one and the same, and there is no difference between them. Deha dehir nam namir Krishna nahi bheda, Jeever dharma nam deha swarupe vibheda. There is no difference between Krishna's body and himself, or between his name and himself. But as far as the conditioned soul is concerned, one's name is different from one's body, from one's original form, and so on. So this is the difference between Mayavadis. This is the reason why Mayavadis are not able to chant Krishna's name, because they make that offense of considering it different. Whereas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is saying that Krishna's body and Krishna himself and his name, they are all same. Nam Chintamani Krishnash Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Bhinnatvan Nam Naminoho. So this verse Mahaprabhu is quoting, and this comes in Padma Puran. The holy name of Krishna is transcendentally blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and it is the form of all transcendental mellows. It is not a material name under any condition, and it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by the material qualities, there is no question of it being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. So this is the glory of the name of Krishna. So it bestows all transcendental or spiritual benedictions. So if we see, going back to the verse, if we see Nam Chintamani, so this Nam is actually Chintamani. So Chintamani is the touchstone with which anything what we touch, it becomes gold. So similarly, Nam purifies one and all. It is Chintamani, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddho. It is completely pure, always, anytime. So like some people, it is good that we chant early in the morning, But it is not that if we are chanting at night, then the holy names become less powerful. They are Purna Shuddha, they are Shuddha at all the time, and they are Nitya Mukta, they are eternally liberated away from the modes. So why we talk about chanting in the morning is because we get affected by the modes, but the names are unaffected, the names are completely pure. And Bhinnatvam Nama Namino. Nama means the holy name, and Namino means to whom he belongs, the name belongs. So in my case, me and my name are different. But in Krishna's case, it is abhinna. They are non-different. So Nam and the possessor of the Nam, both are actually same and identical. So name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. Ataiva Krishnera Nam Deha Vilasa Prakritendriya Grahye Nahe Hayasva Prakasha. The holy name of Krishna, his body and his pastimes cannot be understood by the blunt material senses. They are manifested independently. So they are completely independent. Krishna Nama Krishna Guna Krishna Lila Vrinda Krishna Rasvarupa Sama Sabachidananda. Krishna's holy name, transcendental qualities and transcendental pastimes are all equal to Lord Krishna himself. They are all spiritual and full of bliss. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyaha sevan mukhe hi jihvadau swayam eva sfurati adaha. Therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities and pastime. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. So what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing here? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is of course talking to this Brahmana who said that he's like grief struck, who's very anguished because Prakashananda Saraswati humiliated. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is trying to pacify the Brahmana by telling that though Prakashananda does not understand the glories of the holy name, but the holy names are so glorious. They are not different from Krishna. And he's not only teaching that Brahmana, he is quoting all these verses to give us that confidence that holy names are sufficient, because holy names are non-different from Krishna. They are as powerful as Krishna himself. Brahmananda haite purna nanda lila rasa brahma gyani akarshiya kore atmavasha. The mellow of Lord Krishna's pastimes, which are full of bliss, attract the Gyanis from the pleasure of Brahma realization and conquer him. So one type of spiritualists who are the Gyanis, so they meditate on Brahma and they want to attain the Brahma realization. But when the name of Krishna is chanted, then such Gyanis become agitated and attracted towards Krishna's name and pastime. So Lord Krishna's pastimes attract the mind of even the Gyanis who do not have so much faith in the personal form of the Lord, who do not believe in the Bhagwan realization, but just by hearing the pastimes of Krishna, even they become attracted. Svasukhanibhritchetas tadvyudastanya bhavo pi ajita ruchira lila krishta sarastadiyam vyatvanuta kripayayas tatvadipam puranam tam akhila vrijina ghanam vyasa shunum natosmi. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, the son of Vyasadev, Shukadev Goswami. So this verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is he who defeats all inauspicious things within this universe. Although in the beginning he was absorbed in the happiness of Brahma realization and was living in a secluded place, giving up all other types of consciousness, he became attracted by the most melodious pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. He therefore mercifully spoke the supreme Purana, known as Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the bright light of the absolute truth and which describes the activities of Lord Krishna. So in the previous verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling that the pastimes of Supreme Lord are so sweet that it attracts the Gyanis and it disturbs their meditation on Brahma, and the Gyanis become attracted to them. And here he is quoting a verse to support that. So here in this verse we read that how Shukadev Goswami, who's actually the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Shukadev Goswami himself in the beginning was following the path of a Gyani. He was absorbed in Brahma realization. But then when he heard the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, he became attracted to that so much so that he became the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahmananda hoite purna nanda Krishna guna ateva akarshe atma rame ramana. The transcendental qualities of Sri Krishna are completely blissful and relishable. Consequently, Lord Krishna's qualities attract even the minds of self-realized persons from the bliss of self-realization. Atma ramascha munayo nirgrantha api urukrame kurvanti ahaito kim bhaktim ittham bhuta guno harihi. So this is another verse quoted from first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it talks about Atma Ram, those who are completely self-satisfied and those who are unattracted by external material desires. So it says Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame. Those who are self-realized and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. So this is the power of hearing Krishna's pastimes, that even those who are self-satisfied, those who think that I do not desire anything, nothing, I am self-satisfied, any other type of material desire cannot agitate me. The desires don't come to me. I am completely self-satisfied. I am Atma Rama. Such people are also becoming attracted when they hear the transcendental qualities and activities of Lord Krishna. E sabarahu Krishna charan sambandhe Atma Ramir mana hare tulasi ragandhe. Apart from the pastimes of Lord Krishna, when tulasi leaves are offered at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, even the aroma of the leaves attract the minds of self-realized persons. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling what to say of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Even the aroma, the fragrance of the tulasi, which is offered to the feet of Krishna, even that attracts the mind of self-realized person. And then he again gives a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where he will talk about the Kumaras and how they got attracted. Tasyarvinda nayanasya padaravinda kinjal kamishra tulsi makaranda vayu antargatah svavivarina chakaratesham sankshobhamakshar jusham api chitta tanvo. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulasi leaves and saffron from the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead entered through the nostrils into the heart of those sages, so the Kumaras, the four Kumaras, they experienced a change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. So Mahaprabhu has quoted 3 verses so far, one about the Shukadev Goswami, second about the Atma Ram, and third about the Kumaras, as how they became attracted. So in the first 2 cases, it was the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and here it is just the aroma of tulasi leaves. So the Kumaras, they became attracted. So though they were on the path of impersonal Brahma understanding, but just this aroma of tulasi, and they became attracted to the Supreme Lord. Ataeva Krishna nama naise tara mukhe Mayavadi gana yate mahabahir mukhe. Because the Mayavadis are great offenders and atheistic philosophers, the holy name of Krishna does not come from their mouths. भावकाली वेचिते आमी आईला काशीपुरे ग्राहक नाही नाविकाया लानया बघरे. Grahak nahi, there is no customer. So for what customers Mahaprabhu is talking about? I have come here to sell my emotional ecstatic sentiments in this city of Kashi, but I cannot find any customers. If they are not sold, I must take them back home. So Mahaprabhu, we have witnessed his journey through the Jharikhanda forest, and that how he could give this same ecstasy, the same emotional ecstatic sentiments to all the animals and plants and creepers and trees of the forest. But here in Kashi, Mahaprabhu is saying that there is no customer. Nobody is interested. Why? Because Kashi is predominantly the place for the Mayavadi sannyasis. So Mahaprabhu is telling that, and then he explains at great length as why Mayavadis cannot chant Krishna's name. So he is telling that unless they chant Krishna's name, they will not experience that emotional sentiment. And because there are no customers here, so I cannot distribute that. So I shall carry on my journey onwards. भारी बोझला ना आयला केमिनला ना याब्या अल्प स्वल्प मूल्य पहिले थाई वेचिबा. I have brought a heavy load to sell in this city. To take it back again is a very difficult job. Therefore, if I get but a fraction of the price, I shall sell it here in the city of Kashi. So actually that is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's coming to this material world. He has come here to give this or to sell this holy name. And what is the currency? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the currency is Shraddha. If you have just little Shraddha or faith, then please take this and start chanting. And then you will experience the ecstasy. But here in this case, he is saying that people have no Shraddha. So even if they have very less Shraddha, I am still ready and willing to give it to them. But there is no taker in Kashi. एता बोली से विप्रे आत्मसाथ कोरी प्राते उठी मथुरा चली लगाउर हरि. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that Brahmana as his devotee. The next morning, rising very early, the Lord started for Mathura. So getting in the next section, Lord will finally arrive at Mathura. সেই তিন সঙ্গে চলে প্রভু নিষেধিলা দূর হইতে তিন জনে ঘরে পাঠাইলা. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started for Mathura, all three devotees started to go with him, but the Lord forbade them to accompany him, and from a distance he asked them to return home. So all these three devotees, who are these three devotees? Tapan Mishra, Chandrasekhar, and this Brahmana. So all these three devotees, they wanted to accompany Lord. I mean, of course, which devotee would not like to be with Lord and would like to see Lord go? So of course they wanted to accompany him, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbade them and he goes ahead. Prabhura virahe tine ekatra miliya Prabhu guna gan kare preme mattahana. Feeling separation from the Lord, the three used to meet and glorify the holy qualities of the Lord. Thus, they were absorbed in ecstatic love. So, though Lord was not there, but his pastimes were there, his glories were there, and Lord anyways reside in the heart of the devotee. So, all three of them would congregate and discuss and would experience ecstatic love. Prayage asiya Prabhu koila veni snana Madhava dekhiya preme koila nritya gana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Prayag. So Jharikhanda, Varanasi and now Prayag. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to Prayag where he bathed at the confluence of the Ganges and the Yamuna. He then visited the temple of Veni Madhav and chanted and danced there in ecstatic love. Yamuna dekhiya preme pade jhap diya Aste vyaste bhattacharya uthaya dhariya. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the river Yamuna, he threw himself into it. Balbhadra Bhattacharya hastily caught the Lord and very carefully raised him up again. Ei mat teen dina prayage rahila, Krishna nama prema diya lokanistarila. The Lord stayed at Prayag for 3 days. He delivered the holy name of Krishna and ecstatic love. Thus, he delivered many people. So, 3 days in Prayag. Mathura chalite pathe yatha rahi aya, Krishna nama prema diya lokere nachaya. Wherever the Lord stopped to rest on the way to Mathura, he delivered the holy name of Krishna and ecstatic love of Krishna. Thus, he made the people dance. So people were dancing and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was distributing, and this is how he traveled from Prayag to Mathura. Purve na dakhinaya ite loknastarila, Paschim deshe taiche sabha Vaishnava korila. When the Lord toured South India, he delivered many people. And when he traveled in the western sector, he similarly converted many people to Vaishnavism. So how did he deliver people in South India? By giving holy names and by making them Vaishnavas. And same he was doing on this tract also. Pathe yaha yaha hoya yamuna darshana, tahan jhapa diya pade preme achetana. While the Lord was going to Mathura, he came across river Yamuna several times. And as soon as he saw the river Yamuna, he would immediately jump in, falling unconscious in the water in the ecstasy of love of Krishna. So en route itself, Mahaprabhu was having darshan of Yamuna at various places, and wherever he would see, Taha jhapa diya pade preme achetana. He would fall in that, he would go unconscious because he would experience such great ecstasy when he would be in Yamuna. Mathura nikate aila, Mathura dekhiya, Dandavatahana pade prema vishtahana. When he approached Mathura and saw the city, he immediately fell to the ground and offered obeisances with great ecstatic love. So Mahaprabhu is teaching us that this is how we enter into a dham. So when we are entering in the dham, it can be by train or flight or bus or whatever, but immediately we need to offer obeisances. Ecstatic love we may not experience, but because we are doing Vaidhi Bhakti, so as a rule we must pay obeisances at the dham. Mathura asiya koila vishranti tirtsnana, janmasthane keshava dekhi korila pranama. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the city of Mathura, he took his bath at Vishram Ghat. He then visited the birthplace of Krishna and saw the deity named Keshavji. He offered his respectful obeisances to this deity. So Mahaprabhu has finally entered Mathura and he is having darshan of various places. Premanand nache gaya saghana hunkara, Prabhura prema vesha dekhi loke chamatkara. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted, danced and made loud vibrations, all the people were astonished to see his ecstatic love. So now there is the next section where we would be talking about Lord Chaitanya's interaction with Sanodiya Brahman. So we will stop here and we will continue from this section onwards in our next class. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you all for joining and hope we are having equally blissful time, like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu en route, whoever he is seeing, and that person is becoming like completely maddened with love of Godhead. So hopefully we are also relishing Chaitanya Charitamrta in the same way, and just by the oral reception, and we are feeling such strong connections with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thank you all for joining. Please do share your realizations and comments from today's session, and looking forward to see all of you. Hare Krishna.
Jai Gosai Jai Tarasa Asobara Padarena Mora Panchatra